So you're ready to date, and it's been a long time, maybe 3, 2, 1, 5, 10, 20 years since you dated. And dating has changed according to your friends. So, how do you date as a Christian woman? How do you determine if this person is worthy of your time? By the way they date you. We're going to look at these thoughts. Red flags is what I call them. And what is a red flag? It's an indication that there's something wrong. So we're going to talk about dating and things that don't look right, that maybe are wrong. But because we're in a time where we haven't had experience in a while, we don't realize it's a red flag. So we're going to look at these red flags. I have 5 of them, and talk about some other things and walking through the Bible with Deborah. So my first red flag is when you talk to a man and he says, "When can I see you?" And you say, "When you ask me out." Now, you notice he didn't say, "When can we go out together?" He said, "When can I see you?" So this is a sign, maybe a red flag. So if he asks you out and he says, "When can I see you?" and you say, "When you ask me out," and he says, "Okay, let's go out tomorrow." He mentions a place, a time, and this kind of thing. But the very next day, when you ask, "Okay, where are we going?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" Now you think this is funny. But this has happened twice to me. And I thought it was an incident, but I realized it's intentional. And so the first person realized I was serious. So we went out on the date, and he looked very unhappy the whole time. And after the date, we talked on FaceTime. And after that conversation, I realized some things about the date and about him. So that was the end of that. And then the second person, he was asking about going out. This is the first one that did that. And the next day he acted like he didn't remember saying any of this. And he was like, "Oh, let me just come over." Never let a man come to your house on the first date for several reasons. Number one, safety. If you don't know him, he doesn't need to come to your house. Number two, well, there's several things. Number two, he's trying to avoid taking you out for a meal. He's trying to avoid feeding you. He's trying to figure out how to get to know you in a more quick, intimate way without doing the things you do for dating. And if you're a Christian woman, you're not trying to enter into a physical relationship, but he might be trying to come to your house so he can get cozy with you. He bypassed feeding you. He bypassed spending money on you, and he wants a physical relationship. And the third reason he might want to come to your house is some guys are looking for somewhere to live. So he might be trying to find and then be in a physical relationship so he can live with you. So don't be so quick to let them into your inner sanctuary. And if he doesn't want to take you anywhere and do anything with you, even if it's, everybody's not in a place financially to do a whole lot, but he should have a heart of generosity where even if he can't afford a nice restaurant, he'll take you to McDonald's. If he can't afford a McDonald's, he's going to offer you an ice cream. He's going to try to give you something, a piece of gum, something. He wants to spend money on you, even if he can't. He has that generous spirit where he wants to do that. And if he's not showing the generosity, this a red flag, something's wrong. All right. And you're laughing because you're thinking, move in on you. People will try to move in on you. Number 2, don't agree to go Dutch on your first date for a meal. What is go Dutch? That's an old school saying, I know. It means he wants to pay for his and he wants you to pay for yours. Now, a lot of women are like, "I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need a man to pay for my meal." You know that, and so does he. He looks at your career. He knows if he knows what you do. He knows that you can afford to pay for your own meal. You don't have to prove anything to him. He just doesn't want to spend any money on you. And if he doesn't have enough in him to do so, why does he have access to you? He doesn't think enough of you to make a sacrifice for you. He's never going to make any for you after that. The way he starts with you is how he's going to finish. If he didn't think enough of you to pay to feed you, and he can afford to, then that's an indication something's wrong. And he's not making an investment in you. And this may also indicate a second thing, that he is, what do you call it, a scrub? Back in the day, they use you, they live with you, they eat your food, they drive your car, they do use everything you have, but they will not spend $1 on you. And they want everything to be split down the middle, or you pay for, eventually, if they're splitting it down the middle at the beginning, at the end, you're going to be paying for everything. You're going to be buying them clothes and everything. If I'm doing all that for this man, he needs to be one of my children, and he needs to be younger than whoever I'm dating. And after a point, he needs to get his own as well. If I'm doing all that, I need to be able to follow him on my taxes. All right. So don't go Dutch. Let him pay for the meal. If he doesn't want to pay for the meal, then that's the end of that. The other thing you have to be careful of, some people will pay for the meal, but then they think you owe them something. So you have to be careful of that. I've had a friend, she went on a date. Everything went fine. He paid, he tipped well. Second date, she said, you can come over and eat with me, but that's all we're going to do. And that man got mad at her and said, why, you already decided. So he had already had in his mind, I paid for this meal, the first meal. When I come over, you're going to give me something for my investment. So be careful of people who want to use monetary gifts as a trade for something else, because people do that. Some men do that. So be careful. And that makes me go to another point that I don't have. Never accept gifts from a man you're not engaged to. I mean, you can accept gifts, let me rephrase, but there are certain gifts you should never accept if you're not in a clear indication of a serious relationship, because it's a hook. So if the man's buying jewelry, intimate apparel, things that you buy, something you're really intimate with, you have to be careful about accepting gifts, because sometimes men will give you gifts because they want something in return. And then you might feel obligated because they spent this money on you. So that's another reversal where you still have to be careful. So be careful of the kind of gifts you accept, because sometimes those are just traps to pull you in. And I know a friend who, she dated this guy. She said, I'm not sure if I'm attracted to him or not. And he brought her, she was thinking about breaking up with him. He gave her a necklace. And he didn't ask her if she wanted it. He sent it to her with this Christmas card. And when she got it, she's like, oh, no. And so she was asking different friends, what do you think? Should I return it? And she finally asked her father, and he's like, she said, do men do this so they can get something from me? Because I think the man, she said, I feel like the man knew she wasn't really attracted to him, but he was using that to buy her. So she ended up returning the necklace, and when she returned it, the man said to her, when she broke up with him, the man said to her, but you took my necklace. So while you're breaking up with me, you took my necklace. That means you're supposed to stay with me. So be careful of the gifts you accept from men, because some men do have money or do have something and they're trying to buy your affections. So be careful about that, because they might think, I can force myself on you or whatever because I gave you stuff. I bought you stuff. I paid your bill. So be careful of those traps as well. Number 3, how he treats you at the beginning is the best he's ever going to treat you. So if the man doesn't want to take you anywhere, he doesn't want to invite you places, he doesn't want to spend money on you, he's not generous, that's just going to get worse, which I don't know how it could be worse, but it could get worse. So he's always going to give you his best side at the beginning. So whatever he does on the first date is an indication of the highest standard he has with you. And if he starts down here, it's just going to decline. This is him trying. First date is you trying. And if he does worse, if he's only down here with his trying, he doesn't show up on time, he doesn't have any plans for you, he's nonchalant, he doesn't try to get to know you, these are all red flags. This is not going to get any better. He's not even trying. He didn't even put on clean clothes for me. This is not a good indication that this is going to work out. He doesn't value your time. He's not trying to make an investment in you because he didn't put any time in preparing for the date. So, and if you accept, whatever you accept is what you're going to get. So if you accept lateness, unplannedness, all of these things, that's what you're going to get from here on out. Now, I dated a guy one time and he wasn't a Christian. So this is how I know it's not good to date non-Christians. But he was respectful. I had a standard and he saw that. Men see where you are, whether your standard is here or here, they see it. And they will meet you to some extent based on what your standard is. If your standard's down here, they're going to treat you here and then come down some. You have to set a high bar so they'll know this is what she won't, because they're going to see what they can get away with. What will she let me do? If your standard's high, then they're only going to do so much or say so much to you. So no matter who I dated, I had a standard, a moral standard, a level of respect for myself. Because of that, even the person who didn't treat me that good, they never spoke to me. They never called me. They never, what did they say, called me out of my name. They never called me the B word. They never called me any of that because I respected myself. Now, some of them who were narcissistic, or one or two, who are narcissistic, they might be like, oh, you think you're this, you think you're that. They're trying to pull you down to accept where they want you to be. But they already know where you are. Don't lose your standard. You need them to respect you, let them stay that way. Well, this one person, he would cuss sometimes, but not a lot. But I noticed when he spoke to me and he wanted to make a point where he would have normally cussed, he would stop and regroup and rephrase and say it in a nicer way to me because he understood I'm not going to accept but a certain level. I'm not going to accept any disrespect. And it's not to say that you're better than anybody else, but you do have a certain level of respect for yourself. So when you have that, they're not going to say but so much to you. And they're going to be careful how they say stuff to you. So you only get the respect that you have for yourself. So you have to establish those boundaries with these men or the men you're dating or you're trying to talk to. And not really dating because you're not in a relationship yet, but you're going on a date to find out if you're going to be in one. Now, number 4, you have to establish boundaries with your time and your dates. And how he treats you about time will let you know how he feels about you. So if he plans, a guy who values you will plan a date in advance. He'll call you a week in advance, 2 or 3 days in advance, because we're all busy. If we actually have careers and jobs, we're busy, and they're busy, you're busy. So if they understand that you're busy, they should respect your time, and they should say, can we have a date next Tuesday? Or can I see you in 3 days on so-and-so? Are you available? They're going to check to see about your time. If this man shows up any old time, calls you an hour ahead of time, doesn't care, wants you to drop everything for them, and you have responsibilities, you have children, you have elderly parents, whatever is going on in your life, they think you're supposed to drop that for them. They don't respect your time. And they are going to, and like I said, whatever they do at the beginning, it's just going to go get worse. So if they're starting off disrespecting your time and not valuing your time, if they don't value your time, they don't value you. So that's something that's a red flag. And when I say red flag, that means this is something you need to talk to them about and maybe end things because it's a clear indication they're not ready for a real relationship because they're not investing. They're not going to show up for you because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And they're treating your time like it's not important. And the other reason they may be just showing up at the last minute is they may have somebody else they're really interested in that are actually investing in. And when that person falls through, they come find you because you're available. And you might be to them, because of how you treat your time, in the area of time, you're easy, not sexually easy, but easy with your time. Like, oh, I can just pick them up and drop them whenever I feel like. And that's not how you want them to treat you. Like you're second fiddle, that you're on the back burner. You're always available whenever they're ready to come pick you up. So do not let somebody treat your time like it's not valuable. All right. Now, another thing we need to consider is don't chase a man. That's the first point. Don't chase a man. And why do I say that? The Bible says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. A man that finds a wife finds a good thing. He has to find you. If you chase him, you're always going to be chasing him. You really never know if he ever cared about you because you chased him. He didn't pursue you. If a man really wants something, he'll pursue it. And a man doesn't want anything that he doesn't have to fight for or has to be challenged to get. So I'm just making a metaphor. I'm not saying men or dogs. But when you look at puppies and dogs, they get bored unless you throw the ball and they got to chase it. So you don't want to make yourself easily available. You don't make it difficult because, in the church world, some people talk and they say Christian women can be mean, look mean, because I guess a lot of them are being defensive. They don't want to look easy. They don't want to look like they're coming on to somebody's spouse or whatever. So they might have a serious, pious, sober look. But as women, we need to be friendly, not easy, not flirtatious, but friendly. So men can approach us because sometimes men feel like, I don't want to be rejected. So I need some sign from her that she's interested, like as a Christian man in church talking to you. So you have to smile. You have to show interest. You have to be friendly so they'll know, okay, she might be interested. I might be willing to ask her out. You got to you don't want to make it hard for them to ask you out. So you don't want to chase them, but you want to give them some signs that you're interested. So when they can ask you out and feel comfortable asking you out. But if you're looking crazy at them all the time, they're not going to come up to you and talk to you about anything. So you don't want to make it that hard. And they need to be challenged. They need to feel like, okay, I can't figure out. She's a little mystery. You don't want to say everything you feel and think right away. Just let them figure some things out for themselves. And if men really like you, they'll study you. They'll study you to find out what you like and don't like. So that makes you think about something else. If a guy gets to know you and he knows this bugs you and he does it anyway, he's triggering you, it's intentional. He doesn't care about your feelings. He just wants to upset you because he feels some kind of way. Miserable people like to make other people miserable. So if he's doing that, there's a mean spiritedness with that person. Now, everybody doesn't know you, so they have to get to know you. But we all have things that bother us. So for him after he figures out what bothers you, and he keeps doing it anyway, these are not good signs. That was a side note. But back to being challenged. He needs to find you. He needs to chase you. If he drops off, you need to drop off. Because if some men are narcissistic, which means they have evil intentions and they don't like women. So they will, what do they say, love bomb you? That means they shower you with love at first sometimes. And then they withdraw from you. And you start chasing because you miss that love, that affection that he showed. They were not really loving you. The affection they showed. So you're chasing after that first feeling they gave you. And they do mean, manipulative things like, oh, you're beautiful, this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, I'm angry with you. And you'll be like, why? And they'll be like, and there'll be something small that means nothing, it's not important, it's petty. And they're going to make a big thing out of it and try to make you feel like I'm wrong. They'll say things and make you think, and they'll convince you that you are wrong and that you're evil. And they'll do stuff to convince you. They're manipulating you because they're trying to get you where you'll chase them and that you're withdrawing yourself from them. So they feel desperate to be back with you and get that feeling again you gave them. And then he starts chasing the man. And he's doing that intentionally because he's trying to make you lower your standards. So you'll be desperate and do stuff you wouldn't do normally. And he can manipulate you and do stuff to you that you normally wouldn't let somebody do to you. So you have to be careful about letting the man draw you in to the point. So you have to kind of guard your heart, not fall in love too quickly, not hesitate when people say the right things, because men will flatter you to get you to a certain place where they need you to do what they want to do, or manipulate you, or take advantage of you in whatever way they financially, physically, whatever way they want to take advantage of you. So you have to be careful and be cautious and keep your eyes open. Pay attention to them. And are they consistent in their behavior towards you? Are they always one way, or do they change up? One minute they love you, one minute you're wrong and you can't do anything right. And they're critical of you and they criticize you. This is part of this thing of where they see that you're here and they want you to feel like you're here so they can treat you any kind of way. It's like you have a standard, but in order for them to be able to do what they want to you, they got to get you to lower your standard, how you're treated and the respect level they give you. So you have to be careful because some people are out here to manipulate you, to take advantage, to use, to make you feel bad. Some men do not like women, and their whole goal in life is to make you feel bad about yourself because they don't like themselves and they don't like you because you're a woman. And we have to be careful because they'll have you confused thinking, oh no, what did I do wrong? And you're trying to prove yourself. And it's just a game to them. They're just manipulating you to get you where they want you to be. So those are 5 points. I added a couple of extra tidbits in there, and I've learned this from talking to other women and from some personal experiences of mine. I hope this helps because Christian women deserve a godly man who will respect and love them. But some men are not Christians, and they look like it, they talk like it, but their behavior and their lifestyle and how they treat you is not Christian. So you have to be wary and cautious and look out for these red flags. And I might do a second part because there are many red flags, but this is some of the top 5 that I've noticed and I've heard. I hope it helps. Thank you for listening to Walking Through the Bible with Deborah. Have a good evening.